Now that we've done videos on picks 1 to 3, I feel like we've been seeing a very strong correlation. That is, the lower you go in terms of draft order, the talent levels get far more sporadic and just chaotic, which in return should actually create a far more interesting tier list. So comment down below what your 4th overall pick tier list would look like, and of course roast me down below, because I know you will, on what you think I said wrong. And due to popular demand, well, my mustache and tank top is back too, but due to popular demand, instead of the term bust, from now on it will be known as the Nail Yakupov tier. And to clarify, because I feel like I didn't do a great job in the last video, I do take potential into consideration, but it is more so about what they prove so far in their careers. And a quick shout out to our sponsor and an extended giveaway for you guys, which is CardsGen. CardsGen makes high quality custom hockey cards in an assortment of sizes. You customize your stats, you can add your headshot, and they are the perfect purchase for any hockey fan, and they're the perfect gift. And all you have to do to enter this awesome giveaway is comment down below on my pinned comment what overall you'd make yourself, and of course toss a like on the video. So please go check out CardsGen, link is in the description down below, and use code RTH for 10% off your order. Let's get straight into this video. We'll start in 2000 with Klesla. And Klesla was basically just a brute who had some decent puck skills. He had one World Junior gold medal where the Czechs would actually upset Team Canada and Danny the All-Star, and they won the gold medal in an underdog fashion. 22 points in his best season offensively. He wasn't overly physical, and massive letdown seems obvious for me. Stephen Weiss. And Weiss was a very solid player throughout his entire career. He was never really that star player, but he was a great top 6 player who had about 4 very respectable 60-point seasons in a row. Unfortunately, his career would end early due to injuries, but to me, above average is the obvious place. 2002, Joni Pykkönen. And Pykkönen to me was very underrated throughout his entire career, as he was a very respectable defenseman who could put up points and play at both ends of the ice. In his best offensive season, he'd register 46 points in only 58 games as a defenseman, and he played about 7 great years of hockey. Some of you guys may disagree, but I think Pykkönen is an obvious candidate for All-Star. Nikolai Zherdev, and another reason why some teams are still terrified of drafting Russian players, as he was a great player. 26 goals, 61 points in his best season, and he did have many rumored attitude issues, which probably did really hurt his NHL career. But after only 6 years in the NHL, Zherdev would abruptly pack his bags and leave to Russia. And he definitely did have star upside, but because of his abrupt ending and his shaky play in the defensive zone, I will put Zherdev in above average. It's kind of a shame that people like Zherdev have created this Russian stigma. Andrew Ladd, another candidate for above average. He won a cup in his rookie season with Carolina. He won a second cup in 2010 with the Hawks, and overall he has had a very solid career. 62 points in his best season, and he was a great leader. Benoit Pouliot, massive disappointment, because Pouliot his entire career kind of just played that supplementary scoring role. 36 points in 55 games in his best offensive season. He won a World Juniors gold medal, but overall he did not pan out into that potential first line guy. 2006, Nick Backstrom, and this one's obvious to me, which is the Hall of Fame. Because Backstrom from day one up until today has had a long and illustrious career. Now he has played his entire career in the shadow of Ovechkin. Regardless though, he is a world-class playmaker, 1 Stanley Cup win, 4 medals, and a very impressive .97 point per game average in his career. In 2007, we have Thomas Hickey, and I'll put him in meh. Thomas Hickey had a pretty odd career, because for long stretches, he looked like he was a very solid top 4 defenseman, and at other times, his inconsistent play led him to the minors. In 2008, we had Alex Pietrangelo. And this may be a bit controversial to some, but I think he will end up in the Hall of Fame. Now I will say he has never won a Norris, which will hurt his Hall of Fame odds, but he's basically been a top 10 defenseman his entire career. 1 Stanley Cup, 3 gold medals and a silver medal, and 54 points in his best season, combined with great shutdown ability. 2009, we had Evander Kane, and Kane has had a roller coaster of a career. Deservingly or not, Kane has developed a pretty bad reputation of having attitude issues, which has led him to being shipped off many times in his career. However though, Kane has played a very good, gritty, goal-scoring game. 30 goals, 57 points in his best season, a .64 point per game average. To me, Kane is an obvious all-star. Ryan Johansson, and this one's pretty obvious to me, which is all-star. 71 points in his best season, and weirdly enough, after he was traded to Nashville for Seth Jones, Johansson has developed into more of a playmaker. Because the 2 years before he was traded, he averaged just shy of 30 goals, got shipped off to the Preds, and has barely been able to surpass 15 goals. But he has had a very consistent great career with a .67 point per game average. Adam Larsson, the next coming of Nick Lidstrom. Now, unfortunately things did not pan out this way, as Larsson had a legitimate chance of going first overall in 2011. And he was kind of a draft day surprise when he fell to number 4. 24 points in his best season, and he has been an average defenseman. Now, he has had periods where he looked like a great top 4 defenseman, but he has definitely not panned out, and to me, he's an obvious candidate for meh. Griffin Reinhart, superstar. Congratulations, Griffin Reinhart. You are the first person in RTH history to earn the honor of the Nail Yakupov Bus tier. Everybody, big round of applause for Griffin Reinhart. Good job, buddy. You did it. Because in all honesty, Griffin Reinhart has definitely been a massive bust, as he was compared to Shea Weber and Ryan Suter during his draft year, but he wouldn't even come close to that potential. 1 point in his best season offensively, as he actually ended up only playing 37 games, where he could amount 2 points and play an unreliable game. He spent a long 278 games in the minors and is currently playing in China. Who would have thought? In 2013, we had Seth Jones, and to me, he is a superstar. And I'm sure many of you guys will probably think I'm jumping the gun with Seth Jones, but do recall I do take potential into consideration. Because to me, Seth Jones is a star, and he's been a main factor on why the Blue Jackets are proving everyone wrong. And I do think that Jones will win at least one Norris in his career, and especially if Columbus keeps developing and getting better, it only bodes well for Jones. Sam Bennett, meh. And don't get me wrong, Flames fans, I'm definitely aware on how Sam Bennett has evolved his game into that gritty, valuable bottom 6 player, but he was drafted to be a potential franchise centerman. A very dismal 12 points this season, 36 points in his best season, and honestly, I would probably put him in massive letdown, but he is a great playoff performer, so he does deserve to get bumped up one rank. Mitch Marner, and this one's pretty obvious to me, which is superstar. 94 points in his best season, which was last year, and at the age of 23, the sky is truly the limit. Especially once Toronto works out some of their current issues, Marner alongside the Leafs are going to be a great team for many years to come. 2016, we have Jesse Puljujarvi. And a big congratulations to Jesse Puljujarvi, because you are the second player in RTH history to go into the Nail Yakupov Bus tier. Because unfortunately for Puljujarvi, things have just not worked out. In his best stint, he put up 20 points in 65 games, and in my opinion, Jesse was just rushed. Because I was just surprised that Edmonton would just rush him into the NHL, and I've always thought they should have kept him in Liga for at least one more season to polish his game. But that's besides the point. And this season, Puljujarvi has had a great season in Finland, so it's going to be very interesting to see if Puljujarvi can come back and rebound his game. In 2017, we have Cale Makar, and a lot of you guys are going to think that this is premature, and I agree, but I'm going to put Cale Makar in superstar. Because to me, there is not a doubt that Cale Makar won't have a superstar career. Because as a 21-year-old rookie, Cale Makar is already one of the best defensemen in the entire NHL. 50 points in 57 games this season, and he's developing a very reliable defensive game. And he's just a special talent, and on an Avalanche team led by Nathan MacKinnon, a team that's only going to get better in the next 5 years, Cale Makar and the Avalanche are going to be a scary team. And lastly, we have one of my favorite players to watch in the entire NHL, which is Brady Tkachuk. And Tkachuk is a very rare and special talent, especially in today's game. Because not only does Brady get into those dirty areas and score goals, he put up, and I'm not even joking, let me just double check this, 300 hits this season, which is just absolutely absurd. 300. Like, just reading the stat, even though I know it, just already blows my mind. But when you combine 300 hits with 30 plus goal upside, that is just a recipe for something special. as Brady's the type of player that's just non-existent in today's game, and he's a player that can win you games. Now that being said, if Brady can actually develop into that 30-goal player, he will be a superstar. But for now, you know, talking about premature, I will put Brady in All-Star. But anyways guys, there's my 4th overall pick tier list. Roast me down below on what you think I'm wrong for. And just look at this distribution, we actually have probably the most even distribution so far in tier list history, which is actually pretty cool, as we got the most players in All-Star, we have a couple Hall of Famers, and we have 2 busts. But anyways guys, what would your 4th overall pick tier list look like? And make sure to go check out our sponsor, which is CardsGen, link is in the description down below, and use code RTH for 10% off your order. But that is all folks, thank you guys so much for watching, see you guys later.